And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 99th SongBike Guitar Q&A live stream. Hey, everybody. My name is Jonathan. Thank you for being here. I hope you had a great week. I hope the sun is shining where you are. The sun finally came out today. Can you see that? That beautiful sunlight? It came out. It wasn't supposed to come out. It came out. We'll take it. We'll take what we can get. How's everybody doing? I want to say hello to Matt, William, Wingo, Randy, Chris, Barry, Joseph, Chaz checking in from South Beach, Joseph checking in from Oklahoma, Chris from New Jersey. Look at this. Randy from Colorado. You guys know I love hearing where you're from. Poopa John from right down the road, right, Poopa John? Hey, you guys, we got a great show for you. Number one, I'm here for your questions. Ask me a question. Number two, in between your questions, we have a poll up and running. The poll question, it's a personal one, but let me know what your answer is. And remember, I cannot see who is making what excuse, because the question is, what's your excuse for not practicing anymore? We all have excuses for not practicing as much as we want to, right? I've rarely met someone who practices as much as they really want to. So what is your excuse for not getting in all that practice time? Number one, family and job priorities. It's a great reason. Number two, maybe you have some other hobbies, some other stuff, and you're into those things as well, right? Nothing wrong with that. That means you're a well-rounded human being, unlike some of us. Number three reason why maybe you don't practice quite as much as you'd like, you don't want people to hear you. You have to find those moments when you can, have a little privacy. Maybe that's a problem. I get it. I get it. Maybe that's your reason for not practicing as much as you want to. Or, of course, we have the other option. And especially if you have another excuse that is better than all of those, definitely let us know what that is. Maybe you don't own a guitar. That'll do it. John checking in from New York. Hey, John. Rock Lobster. Hello. Rock Lobster says, send some sun here. You're up in Maine, buddy. We'll try. We'll try to send it north. I mean, it's not summertime yet, but we'll take what we can get. Barry James. Barry has a good question. Barry says, hey, Jay, what's your best tip for starting to play walk-ups and walk-downs? My best tip. Hold on a second. Right? Connecting chords. And if that sounds like Johnny Cash, you got it. In my opinion, Johnny Cash kind of owns that sound. Wasn't the first or the last person to do that type of picking, but for a lot of people, that's what comes to mind. You hear that sound and you start thinking of Johnny Cash songs. So, whoa, Roger's checking in. 104 degrees in Las Vegas. Holy cow. That's plenty. That's warm. Hang in there, Roger. And it's not officially even summer yet, right? Oh, man. Okay, so let's talk about what your right hand needs to begin this whole skill of walk-ups and walk-downs. Your right hand needs good aim because you're going to be hitting individual notes, specifically the fatter bass strings, right? You need good aim. You also need, and this is a little more subtle, you need to squeeze the pick a little bit tighter when you're doing the actual, or when you're playing those types of notes, right? Squeeze the pick a little tighter. Don't go crazy, but you want those notes to pop. And then a little bit looser when you go back to the kind of strumming. Right? Now, this is pretty subtle, but I got to mention it, okay? Anytime you're doing basic down-up strumming, you want to hold the pick as loosely as possible. So really, that's the default if you're in this world of strumming, holding the pick super loosely to the point where you're just about to drop it. Here's one way you know you've just about found the perfect squeeze. If you either drop the pick or, almost as bad, the pick rotates out, out of your thumb, so to speak. It kind of, the tip of the pick is doing whatever it wants to do. That's a good sign. That means you're so close. You're so close to finding just the right amount of pressure. Don't let it make you crazy. I would rather work with a student all day long who's pick is rotating. We can solve that. What we can't solve, or I've had a harder time solving it, is someone with a death grip. And all you can do is just beg them to stop and lighten up their grip. But, okay, so let's get into the left hand. What you need is some examples. So you can begin working on your skills, right? I just did E major to A major. Here's an exercise. Strum an E major chord, just to get that sound in your brain. One strum, nice down strum. Starting on the 6th string, the open E string, 0 open, 2nd fret with the index finger, 4th fret with your ring finger. You do not have to keep your index finger down. See how I let go of it? There's no reason to keep it down. One more note, open 5th string, the A string. Let's review that. Okay, I strum my E chord. Here comes the walk up, 0, 2, 4, the next string open, the open A string, and that sound leads us nicely into the A major chord. Give that a strum. Put it all together, strum. On the E, and strum the A. Okay, now if that's really easy for you, excellent. If you've never done anything quite like that before, today's the day. Now you're going to reverse it. Open A string, that's the 5th string. 6th string 4 with the ring finger, 6th string 2 with the index, open 6th string, and strum the E major chord. That was a walk down, right? We walked down a lower sound to the E major chord. So what we're doing is connecting the E and the A chords, two very popular chords that you often see in a sequence, right? We're connecting them with a bass note run. I was going kind of fast. Gotta slow it down. So I'm choosing this particular context because those are two pretty easy chords, right? E major, A major, pretty easy. The runs involve a lot of open strings. Open, 2, 4, open, and then reverse it. Open, 4, 2, open, right? Doesn't get much easier than that. So it's a good starting point. Now, Barry, someday I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write one. It would be my 10th book. My 10th book should be nothing but walk-ups and walk-downs, just examples. I mean, imagine having 200 of those, connecting all sorts of chords, you know? And the first chapter, that'd be the first chapter. Second chapter would be adding in little embellishments, things that aren't quite so linear. And that's the word I use for. So something less linear. Let me think here. Yeah. So here's my E. I kind of went up and then down and then back up again, right? It's not linear in my mind. It's sort of a, ooh, you know, it's more creative. It's more interesting, right? So imagine chapter 2 would be a bunch of things like that. In case you're wondering, okay, what I just did is strum the E chord. I hit the open E string like before, open 6th string. I did a hammer-on the 5th string, open string, hammering on to the 2nd fret. Actually, if I held on to my E chord, it's the note my middle finger was just resting on. I lift my middle finger off, so it's open. I hammer down with my middle finger. Now watch out. 6th string, 4th fret with my pinky. No big deal, but, you know, kind of comes out of nowhere. Open A string. I'm going to stop talking so much. Strum the A chord. Kind of cool, right? A little wiggly, you know? So that could be chapter 2, a bunch of more melodic, less predictable bass note runs. Because here in our live streams, we've talked a lot about bass note runs. And, you know, I know a bunch of my students would dig it. So, okay. Ooh, wouldn't that be fun if I could wave a magic wand and have a 20-page PDF available for you for the 100th live stream? Ooh, could I do it? Can I get it ready for next week? Next week is our 100th live stream. Wouldn't that be cool? We could celebrate the 100th SongBike Guitar Q&A live stream with bass note runs. Woohoo! Not a crazy idea. Not a crazy idea. I don't know. I do have some fun stuff planned for you for next Saturday, our 100th Guitar Q&A live stream. Very excited. Barry says that would be awesome. I don't know, not a crazy idea. I mean, 20 pages is probably overstating it. 20 pages if I use really big font, you know. Martian Murray says, awesome. Hey, DAC Poet, thank you for being here. But anyways, Barry, thank you for getting my little creative mind thinking about this stuff. Heaven forbid the black curtain not be perfect. Oh, so close, but not perfect. Why is it significant? It is not, my friends. It is not. There's nothing even interesting behind. No, I shouldn't say that. I have a very cool drum set behind the black curtain. So yes, there is something behind the curtain. I don't know. Hey, those of you who were ready to rock and roll at 5 p.m. Eastern, or even a few minutes before 5 p.m. Eastern, thank you for your patience. I know we started a little bit late. Thank you for your patience. Okay, hey, keep the questions coming. That is 100% why I am here. In between your questions, let me whet your appetite a little bit. So stick around, because we're going to talk about the oldest existing guitar. How old? Old. Older than me and you put together. They'd have to put a couple of us together. 425 years old. And you can see a video of a guy playing it. We'll talk about that today. YouTube Music has announced a new feature for trying to find that song you kind of remember. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to teach you, hopefully, not 1, not 2, but 3 lessons you'll never forget. I think you'll enjoy those 3 lessons. A little tough love. We're going to do a quick review of reading tab. We began this last week. Many of you know how to read tab just fine. Some of you are a little bit shaky. It's going to be short, but sweet. I think you'll like that little tough love segment. I call it tough love because you got to learn how to read tab. So why not make some progress today? I want to share some names with you. A new album out by Louis Michot. I'm a big fan of Louis Michot. Has a new album out. So I want to talk about that and talk about him. Someone gave me a free ticket to go see Jorma Kaukonen. He's coming through town in whatever June 16th is, 16 days from now. And I'm going to go see Jorma Kaukonen. Many of you know him because he's awesome. Many of you know him as a member of Hot Tuna, or even potentially more legendary, Jefferson Airplane. You know, Grace Lick, he was one of the guitar players in Jefferson Airplane. Well, he is a fantastic acoustic blues player, and he's coming through my area here. And someone had a ticket. They couldn't go to the show, so I'm going to go instead. Woohoo! Very fun. A topic that we're going to get into today that I can't believe I missed last week. I meant to get to it. The Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City received a donation of guitars. Not 100, not 300, not 499, 500 priceless guitars. I'm not talking about guitars like yours and mine. I'm talking about priceless guitars. 500 of them were just donated to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about that today. 500. Holy moly. Who's coming through town? I'm going to share some names with you, some folks who are coming through town. I have my own dumb question of the week. Of course, we have our play-along question, a play-along song of the week. You will need a capo, so grab a capo. Also, one of the lessons that you will never forget requires you to tune your fat E string down to D. You know how to do that, right? If not, You want to have a tuner handy. You can even practice it while I'm gabbing here, right? Practice tuning your fat string down to D, because you are going to want to do it for one of the songs that is part of the segment I call Lessons You'll Never Forget. Am I missing anything? That covers a lot of the stuff. iTunes. iTunes has a reggae music chart. And recently, the #1 song on the iTunes reggae chart is the first ever Welsh language reggae song. Very cool song. And it reached #1 on the iTunes reggae chart. Why am I sharing this with you? I don't know, kind of interesting, right? Woo-hoo. Go Wales. And I'm not going to try to pronounce the name of the song, but how cool. Aleighcia Scott. I was flipping through my copy of Songlines magazine. You guys know I'm a big fan of Songlines magazine. And it says, Aleighcia Scott has made history with her track. And there's the name in Welsh. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. It begins with a D like Delta, which in March became the first Welsh language track ever to reach #1 on the iTunes reggae chart. After our live stream, I'll put a link to her song in the description of this live stream. And little music history there. Go Wales. Woohoo! Winston, you hear what I'm talking about here? Aleighcia Scott, the first Welsh language track. So Winston, congratulations. Hey, William, I see your question. William is asking, William says, I'm considering adding a parlor-size guitar to your guitar collection. Do you have any opinion on the Guild P240? I don't know that guitar. That won't stop me from looking it up real quick and having an opinion. But a parlor-size guitar, a very cool idea for a lot of reasons. So what I'm going to do here while I talk, bear with me, you guys, I'm just going to see if maybe our buddies at Sweetwater carry that guitar. Oh, I'm looking at it right now, Bill. Well, the price is right. I mean, it's not free, but it could be a lot worse. Well, that's a pretty guitar. Okay, can I share this? Of course I can. So why is a parlor-size guitar such a cool thing? For lots of reasons. Okay, can you guys see that? Sure you can. Okay, well, a parlor-size guitar is very cool. #1, that's how guitars used to be. They used to be parlor instruments, right? Largely played by women. The smaller instruments for smaller hands. There's no reason for them to be particularly big, because there's no need for a loud volume, a parlor-size guitar. So I'm going to scroll here. Another reason for a parlor-size guitar is it's just smaller. It's just best case scenario, it fits in your hand better. It fits against your body better. What I can't, let's check out this about the neck here. What I can't promise you is that the feel of the neck is going to feel different than any other acoustic guitar. My guess is that the feel of the neck is going to be pretty similar. I'm not saying it's going to be the exact same as a big dreadnought guitar, but pretty similar. There's my Sweetwater sales engineer. There's Kevin. Hey, Kevin. You guys could do worse than to connect with Kevin when you are shopping at Sweetwater. It's a pretty guitar. I'm a fan of the Guild brand in general. I believe Fender now still owns the Guild name. They bought Guild a while ago. My very first guitar ever was a Guild semi-hollow body guitar, which I still have. It's a beautiful guitar. So I'm a fan of anything with a Guild name on it. So there's a comfort factor involved in a smaller guitar. You might say, well, why shouldn't the price be lower than any other guitar? Because it's a smaller instrument, less wood, right? But it takes the same amount of labor to make it. When you buy a guitar, any guitar, a lot of the price has to do with the labor, and not necessarily the exact material. So to make a smaller guitar it costs a company about the same. I'm generalizing, right? But you get the idea. If you are in a scenario, I'm going to stop sharing now. If you're in a scenario where, there we go, you space is a minimum. Maybe you want like a guitar to have at the office, a guitar to have, you know, at your summer house. I don't know, like a little cabin guitar, a little beach guitar. A small guitar, you know, can kind of fit that bill and feel pretty good. The drawbacks of a smaller guitar, it's not going to be as loud. If you strum a lot with a pick, smaller guitars typically, that's not what they're made for. A lot of big, broad strumming strokes. They're going to sound their best with finger picking and pretty light picking. So if you want to have a big, loud guitar for a campfire sing-along, it's not the ideal thing. But yeah, William, I say go for it. Of course, with a lot of retailers, you know, you try it out. If you don't like it, you send it back, you know, right? My advice is to call Sweetwater and ask them, you know, what they might recommend for a parlor-size guitar. And Bill, maybe that's how you got to that guild already. Always ask for a deal, right? Bill, once you get the guy on the phone, say, hey, I see you have it at $549. You know, you got any room to move? You won't be stepping on anyone's toes. Perfectly okay to do that. I didn't see if case is included, but certainly, especially if you're paying full price for the guitar, see if you can get a case at a discounted price, you know. And I still can't believe any retailer would ship a guitar without a case, but double check to see if a case comes with it, and please get yourself a case. Everybody should have a case for the guitar, something, right? Something, a gig bag, a case, something. So yeah, so Bill, I say go for it. Why not? I'm going to say that for almost everybody who is shopping around for a guitar. Yeah, go for it. And Bill, if you do pull the trigger, you know, play it for a week and then give us a report and let us know. Let us know, you know, how it's going. Okay, let's get into the lessons you'll never forget. I can't hold back anymore. Let's do this. The first thing we're going to do, harmonics. What are harmonics? For a few of you out there, you may have never played harmonics on the guitar before. For those of you who are very familiar with harmonics, hang tight because I'm going to show you some things you can do with harmonics in a minute. Okay. Physics, the discipline of physics is the best way to learn why harmonics work. That is beyond the scope of today's live stream. I'm going to show you how to play them and then what you can do with them. There are a couple of extremely important factors. When you play harmonics, getting those nice bell-like ringing sounds from the strings, you need an incredibly light touch with your fretting hand. You are no longer going to be squeezing the strings against the fretboard like you always do. You are now touching the string very lightly with the pad of your finger, okay? Very lightly, very lightly, okay? Whatever you do, do not press the string against the wood of the guitar. That's not how harmonics work, because this can be frustrating, and that's why I'm, you know, repeating myself. The second thing you need to know about playing harmonics, they work best at very specific locations. Location, location, location. Right above the 12th fret. Now, notice I said above. What does that mean? Typically, we squeeze a little bit behind the fret when we're squeezing. We're not going to do that anymore. I'm looking at my own finger in the monitor there. Right above the 12th fret. Imagine if you wanted to hide the 12th fret from your audience. You did not want them to see the 12th fret. You'd put your finger right over it, right? That's what I'm trying to do right now, okay? Let's start with a skinny E string. I'm touching so lightly right above the 12th fret. I'm going to give it a nice firm pick. I do want you to play hard. This is, by the way, this is doable for acoustic guitar, electric guitar, any guitar. Okay, for those of you who are not getting a decent sound, you could be not exactly above the 12th fret. You could be pressing down a little bit too hard or way too hard. Everyone gets this sooner or later. Some of you need a minute to practice it. That's awesome. Some of you already know how to do this. You do not have to stop touching the string. At the moment, my finger is still in contact with the string, but you're allowed to let go, and you know you're getting the harmonic just right if you let go of the string and it's still ringing. Okay, now you don't have to let go. You certainly don't have to time it like you pluck the string and let your finger spring off away from the guitar. Nope, nope. Just let go. You can do that exact technique on all 6 of the strings. For some of us, In the Beginning, is that song, In the Beginning? Who does that? Emerson, Lake and Palmer? That sound. I actually don't know how that song goes. I don't know the proper. And Charlie Beagle says Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Yeah. I can tell you what I'm doing to pretend, to act like I know how to play that song. I'm going to use my index finger. I'm touching multiple strings right above the 12th fret. I'm touching them so lightly, and I'm strumming, let's say 4 strings. I'm strumming 4 strings. Now, don't worry about whether or not you can do that exact skill, but what you want to work on is getting the individual notes. Obviously, it doesn't matter which finger you use. Okay? So, if you're doing that, great. If it's not going too well, don't worry. Let me tell you the names of the notes you're playing. When you do harmonics at the 12th fret, the name of the sound you're getting is the same as the note that you'd get if you pressed at the 12th fret, which is the same as the names of the notes of the strings. Remember Eddie 8 Dynamite? Eddie 8 Dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. So those are the names of the harmonic notes you're getting. E, A, D, G, B, E, from fat to skinny. And the names are important. Let me give you a quick example. Imagine a friend of yours is playing a song, and they're getting to the end of the song, and they're about to end the song on an E major chord. And right after they strum the E major chord, you hit an E harmonic. Nice, cute little ending. Right? And you add that nice little harmonic sound. Say the last chord that they played was a G chord. You could play a G harmonic, 3rd string, right above the 12th fret. You know? Because I want you to know the names of these. So, harmonics at the 12th fret. There are 2 other locations that are relatively easy to play harmonics at. The 7th fret. Okay? Hopefully I make it look easy. And some of you feel it is easy. Some of you are like, wait, I'm still back at 12. The names of the harmonics at the 7th fret are the same as the names of the notes you would get from squeezing at the 7th fret. 7th fret skinny string, if I press hard, I get the note B. And the harmonic is also a B, a much higher B, right? We jumped up an octave or 2 or 3. On the 2nd string, 7th fret, that's no F sharp. 7th fret, 2nd string harmonic is also an F sharp. So for you to name the harmonics of the 7th fret, you'd have to know the names of the notes of the 7th fret. I'm going to give you a quick little cheat. Fat string 7 is B. Skinny string 7 is B. Starting on the 5th string, 7th fret. Okay, you with me? You have Eddie 8 Dynamite. 5th string 7th fret is E. 4th string 7th fret is A. 3rd string 7th fret is G. And like I said a moment ago, 2nd string 7th fret harmonic is F sharp. Okay. One more location. Remember I said location, location, location? The 5th fret. Now the 5th fret it requires a little more precision. Totally doable. But if you are not right above the 5th fret, I mean, as precisely as possible, you're going to get some frustrating, clinky kind of sounds. 12 and 7 are a little more forgiving, but not 5. There we go. So don't beat yourself up. If you get to the 5th fret and the harmonics are not coming out clearly, give yourself time, be patient. The names of the harmonics at the 5th fret are actually the same as the name of the strings. Again, Eddie, 8, dynamite, good, bye, Eddie. That's convenient, right? That works out nicely. Okay, now we're just getting started. So those of you who are looking for a little more information, a little more of a challenge, check this out. A little something I cooked up here. We're going to play chords with harmonics. That's right. Here it comes. A lesson you never forget. And I'll give you a little context for this too, or an idea of when you might want to do this. Okay, coming up on your screen. Give it a minute if you cannot see it. Playing chords with harmonics. There we go. Okay, so whether you strum these like 3 strings together with 1 strum, or you arpeggiate them, which I definitely recommend, playing them as individual notes, you are still giving the world the chords that you see named there. There's a bunch of G's, E minors, D's, B minors, some power chords, and then some doubled notes. And then at the very bottom, a way to use harmonics just to go along with a chord, even though you don't have the root note of the chord. Okay, so let's start at the top. One way to give the world a G chord with harmonics. 12th fret on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings. Obviously, you can do them as individual notes. You could brush all 3 at the same time. Here's a scenario where you might choose to do that instead of, say, strumming a perfectly good G chord. Say you're in a situation where someone is already strumming a G chord, or maybe you're playing with a piano player and they've got the G chord covered. What you need to do is complement what's already happening. So a harmonic is such a pretty way to complement what the band is already doing, or the other musician is already doing, right? So imagine our hypothetical song here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Someone's strumming that G chord, and there's just no reason for you to be the other guy, the 2nd guy, the 3rd guy strumming a G chord, right? So instead, here you come, because you're a smarty pants, and you come in, you're like, and they're strumming the G chord, you're like, easy, pretty, different, and like I said, very complimentary of what's already happening. You don't want to be the 3rd person, 4th, 5th person just sitting there strumming a G chord, right? Say you're at like a jam session. Play some harmonics. Why not? Remember, the names of the notes at the 12th fret, the names of the harmonics at the 12th fret are the same as the names of the strings, and also the names of the harmonics of the 5th fret are also the same as the names of the strings. So not a shock that 5, 5, 5 on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th is also a G chord. And when I say it is a G chord, I mean you're giving the world the 3 notes, G, B like baseball, D like delta, the 3 notes that make up a G chord. So you could actually switch back and forth between the harmonics at 12 and the harmonics at 5. Again, someone's strumming a G chord and you're like, right? Dance around between 12 and 5. Why not? Especially if you're on the G chord for a long time, you got to do something, right? Those of you playing electric guitar, harmonics have, if you put a little gain, a little distortion on your amp, harmonics tend to be easier to play. They tend to pop out a little bit more. You don't have to, but you know. Charlie Beagle is saying, I've never been able to get the sound I want for that 12/7 harmonicon for what it's worth. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've never done a deep dive on, I mean, God, I think maybe I did make a video. I don't remember. If I did make a video on for what it's worth, I don't remember it, Charlie. So I know what you're talking about. I don't remember if there's a if there's a trick. Yeah, don't know. Okay, so I'm not going to walk you through all these chords because you get the idea. You have a couple of different E minors, a D, a B minor. See the second line, A5, 12 on the 2 bass strings, 12 on the fat E and 12 on the A. A power chord, by definition, you only need 2 strings, 2 notes. You know, there you go. I'm playing the A5, the A power chord at the beginning of line 2. A D power chord. There we go. G. Those of you who do recording, maybe you got a home recording setup, harmonics would be a great way to add on a distinctive, unique sound on top of what you already have, you know. Okay, bottom of the page. Third line. 5 on the 6th string and 7 on the 5th string. You know, your fretting hand kind of, it forms what we typically think of as a power chord. 5 and 7 on the 2 bass strings. Both of those notes are E's. Why would you play both of them? Just for an effect. Just because you can. Those 5s are fighting me a little bit. There we go. When I made up this lesson plan, I was looking for, you know, a whole bunch of different options. What I really want to get to is that C at the bottom. Well, it's not exactly a C. Okay, the way I've taught this to you with harmonics at 12, 7, and 5, on those 3 locations, there's no harmonic C note. So you got to have a workaround. If the band is on a C chord and you want to show off your new harmonic skills, you can play other notes that are in the C chord, just not a C. So there you go, 12 on the 1st string and 12 on the 3rd string. There's 2 of the 3 notes of a C chord. Neither one of them is a C. We got an E and a G. You might say, how am I going to strum both of those at the same time without hitting the 2nd string that's in between them? I would say just take your thumb and your pointer and pluck them as individual strings. I'm using my ring finger very lightly at the 12th fret. My ring finger is touching 3 treble strings, but my thumb and pointer are only on the 1st and 3rd strings. So imagine the band is on a C chord, and you go. Very complimentary. It just happens that you're not playing the note C. Okay, now for those of you who are hotshots, check it out. Bending behind the nut. Definitely easier on electric guitar, especially if your headstock has a lot of clearance. Once the strings cross over the nut, my guitar happens to have I can just about fit my big old pinky under those strings. So what I just do, I play the 2nd string 12th fret harmonic. It's a note B, because remember it's named after the 2nd string. But I can make it sound like C by bending. I'm using 3 fingers touching the 2nd skinny string behind the nut. Here's, by the way, here's what B to C sounds like if I fret both of them. And here it is with the behind the nut bending. Now you gotta, you're doing it by ear, right? So you can't just bend it. You want to bend it until it makes a perfect C. How do you know what a perfect C is? You have to get the note in your mind. So say I was getting ready to do this for a song I was recording. I want to get it perfect. I'd play a bunch of fretted B's and C's. Second string 12, second string 13. Try to really get that interval in my head. And then when I go to bend the harmonic, I'm hopefully more likely to get the exact pitch I want. You don't want to get that seasick, sharp, flat kind of thing. But anyways, little bonus there. Playing a harmonic, but bending behind the nut to get to the next note, if that's what you want, Very cool effect. Who does that kind of thing? Jeff Beck was famous for doing lots of stuff with harmonics. You could actually take your whammy bar my little Bigsby there, and you can certainly lower the sound. If I wanted to go from the B to B flat, and Jeff Beck was a real master of this. Imagine getting a harmonic going and playing a melody with your whammy bar. It's especially if you get your guitar rig set up just right, you're going to get a lot of sustain from a harmonic if you're Jeff Beck. And imagine playing multiple melodic pitches with the whammy bar while the harmonic is ringing. Results may vary. You may break a string. But there you go. Okay, now before we leave this subject, I posted a little video for those of you who might follow me on Instagram or Facebook. I've been posting little videos to promote this live stream, and yesterday, Friday, I posted a video while this stuff was fresh in my mind. And I'll just show you where I was coming from. In case you didn't see it, no worries. But in case you did see it, what's he doing? Okay, when I made up this lesson plan that you're looking at right now, that 777 on the D, the end of line 1, I thought, man, well, I know how often D shows up. D shows up everywhere, right? So I thought, I'm going to incorporate that sound into this little instrumental that I wrote. And I followed it up with a good old-fashioned A minor chord. Now, that's pretty, right? You could get a similar melody from grabbing an old-fashioned D chord and change it to A minor. But harmonics kind of grab your ear a little bit, right? It's not a sound you hear every day. Whereas an old-fashioned D chord, let's face it, that is a sound that we all hear on a regular basis. Okay, so that was how I chose to incorporate harmonics into a little original tune. I had to have a light touch because I wanted the harmonics to be nice and loud. I did not want my A minor chord to be any louder than the harmonics. So I went to strum the A minor. I tried to play especially lightly, harmonics by their nature are a little bit quiet, right? Meanwhile, you take a plastic pick and you strum a big old chord like A minor, it's going to be relatively loud. Like there's a risk of it being relatively loud. Okay, so there you go. Matt says it sounds like a Radiohead song a little bit. I'll take that. Okay, so there's a lesson you never forget. By the way, that PDF you're just looking at is available for everybody who's a member of my website. Head on over to song-bike.com, become a member, and that's one of like 60 PDFs available right now for immediate download. Playing chords with harmonics. Okay, you guys, I'm going to see what you guys are talking about in the chat. We have our poll. The poll is, Poll question is, what's your number one excuse for not practicing quite as much as you want to? And Joseph says, can't answer the question. I play every day, no excuses. Nothing hinders my playing. Joseph, that's awesome. Excellent. Tommy's in the chat. Hey, Tommy. And Randy's pointing out that, yeah, a classic way to tune the guitar before all those newfangled clip-on tuners and everything was play a harmonic at the 5th fret on one string. There we go. And the 7th fret on the next string, the adjacent string. And they should be, if your guitar's in tune, they should essentially be the exact same sound. Hey, by the way, just then I switched from my neck pickup to the middle position where the neck and the bridge are both turned on. And that made my pickup more audible. So those of you who are doing harmonics with your, the bridge pickup is just producing a better harmonic sound. So those of you who are playing harmonics, especially for the first time on an electric guitar, definitely experiment with the pickup positions. Oops. And see if that helps you out. But yeah, Randy, I know what you're talking about. The 5th and 7th fret, that tuning method, comparing one string to the next with harmonics, is great because harmonics are so high, so obvious that if one string is out of tune, it's pretty noticeable. Only problem is when we get to comparing the 3rd G string, where we're here, with a 2nd B string. Doesn't work. So how do we remedy that? If you're using this method, the way I was taught by a random person who just mentioned this to me and I remembered it forever, you could tune your 2nd string, the B string, by first hitting the 6th string, 7th fret. Again, 6th string, 7th fret harmonic. That's a nice high ringing B. And then just use that to tune your open B string. So I'm not even doing a harmonic on the B string. I'm just, yeah. The G-B relationship. Yeah, there you go. Very cool, very cool. Hey, DAC Poet, I thought I saw the point you brought up. DAC Poet says, do I know of any female classical guitar composers? I off the top of my head, I don't. I'm sure they're out there. DAC Poet, I'm looking at what you were writing about the classical guitar method book. Yeah, smart. Okay, so DAC Poet is talking about working with her teacher to select songs that work better for smaller hands. Yeah, and that I couldn't think of a better example of why it's helpful to work with a specific teacher, because they see what you're capable of and find appropriate material. Yeah, that's awesome. Very cool. And keep us posted because, hey, the things that you guys come up with in your lessons could be of a benefit for all of us. So keep us posted, or let us know if you already have a few picked out and share them with us. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, check. Louis Michot, last name spelled M-I-C-H-O-T, has a new album out, and I'm such a fan. And I thought I would pull this up. Don't go anywhere. Multi-instrumentalist. There we go. I'm going to copy and paste this website. A link to his website and one of his videos will be in the description of this live stream. There we go. Okay, I'm going to share this. I'm a big fan. He has a new album out. There we go. Okay, on your screen shortly will appear the Louis Michot website. And he's on tour too. Sadly, he's not coming to my neck of the woods, but he might be coming to your neck of the woods. Okay, he has a new album out. The album is called Seauleaux, but it's spelled S-E-A-U-L-E-A-U-X. And I've just started listening to it. But his previous album, you see on the right-hand side of your screen there, Rev du Troubadour. I love that album. So he plays, look, check out the instruments. You can see he's playing fiddle, guitar, and a beautiful squeeze box. He's just an interesting guy. He is part of the Lost Bayou Ramblers, multi-Grammy winners. They've certainly been nominated. I lose track of who's been nominated and who's won and how many times either things have happened, because I admire anyone who is involved in the Grammys in any capacity. So in the description of this live stream, after we're done, I'm going to put a link to this website right here, and I'll link also to one of his videos of one of his songs from his brand newest album, Louis Michot. In case you're wondering, let's see if we can hang in there, everybody. Okay, let's see if we can see where he's coming. Are any of these places near you guys? Let's see. Tonight, he's in Little Rock, Arkansas. Tomorrow, Memphis. Then it looks like he's taking a little break. June, we'll find him in North Carolina, Maryland, Roxbury, New York, Brooklyn, New York. August 1st, PEI. Is that Prince Edward Island? Yeah, there we go. Summerside, Prince Edward Island. Little Canadian tour set up in August. Very cool. So I recommend him highly, and I hope you guys, hope he comes through your neck of the woods. Okay. I want to give him a shout out. I'm a fan. I mentioned Jorma Kaukonen is coming through, and I'm going to go see him in a couple weeks. In the description of this video, I'm going to put a link to one of his songs, a live performance of one of his famous songs called Genesis. Jorma is spelled J-O-R-M-A, but I bet you knew that already. If you type in those 5 letters into your search bar, he's the only Jorma, J-O-R-M-A, and you can see lots of his stuff. I was going to say 2 things about Jorma Kaukonen. First of all, he has a guitar camp at his home in Ohio, maybe. And he gets some famous people to be instructors at his summer guitar camps. So his camp is called Fur Peace, like F-U-R. Is it peace like peace on earth? Now I have to find out. And I have never been to one of his summer camps, but I think you should go and tell us all about it. Okay, stand by. Fur Peace, it's a ranch. Yeah, it's peace spelled like peace on earth. Athens County, Ohio. In case you are looking for something to do. Oh, let's just share this right here. Why not? Okay. I think, you know what, we should do a SongBike. There we go. That's how this works. Okay, can you guys see that on your screen? We should do a SongBike. We should invade a summer camp. We should all meet at a summer guitar camp like this. How cool would that be? That'd be so fun. Okay, there you go. The Fur Peace Ranch in 1989, ever since 1989. Very cool. I'll let you guys dig deeper into that if you're interested. But there's a lot of these summer camps, these summer guitar camps around. And, you know, they're not free, but they sound like a once in a lifetime kind of thing. So there you go. Jorma Kaukonen, and I will report back to you guys when I say after I see him. Chaz, you're saying it says it's permanently closed. What, that camp that we just looked at is permanently closed? No. Is that what you're talking about? The Fur Peace camp? But the website. If it's on the internet, it can't be closed. Is that what you're talking about, Chaz? I hope not. Close this down. Okay, whoops. Got it. Cancel. Okay. And Randy is pointing out there's a lot of videos from the Fur Peace ranch. Yeah. Okay, moving on. It changed its venue. Oh, maybe they're hosting it maybe down the road someplace. Yeah, maybe so. I bet it's still awesome, if not awesomer. Hey, you guys, I can't hold back anymore. Let's talk about this Metropolitan Museum of Art. This is, I can't believe I somehow let last week's live stream go by without bringing this to your attention. And I bet a lot of you have heard about this already. Okay, so someone donated a lot of priceless guitars to the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. And here you go. This is from the Metropolitan Museum of Art's website. See that? As always, if your screen goes black, do not fear. The headline, the Met receives landmark gift of more than 500 of the finest guitars from the golden age of American guitar making. I mean, this is astounding for so many reasons. First of all, someone amassed 500 priceless guitars. So let's just sit down for a minute. I'm gonna take a sip of my cider while we just ponder that someone amassed that. Okay, anybody faint? So you guys don't need me to read this press release to you. I'm just going to scroll a little bit. Dirk Ziff, Dirk Ziff. It's a gift from him. From what I've heard, he was the heir of a famous company, but he's also a professional caliber guitar player who toured with Carly Simon. So he's more than just a collector. But holy cow. So I'm scrolling down here. There we go. There's a middle paragraph that gives examples of some of the guitars he just donated. The Leo Fender's first guitar, a guitar from Mississippi John Hurt, a guitar from Les Paul, guitar from Keith Richards as played on the Ed Sullivan Show, Roy Rogers guitar. Oh my God. So holy moly. In the description of this live stream, okay, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to put a link to that website, but also another one from Guitar World magazine, in case you want to read even more about it. Wow. What can you say? That is crazy. What are they going to do with them? You know, I mean, they're going to display some of them, right? Are they going to rotate? I imagine so. I mean, I know very little about curating museums. Are they going to put some on tour? Are they going to loan them out to other museums? Oh, my little brain. That's a lot of history. A lot of history. There's a lot going on. So the phone rang today, and who was on the phone? But a member of Ronnie Earl's band and crew, one or the other, I forget who. They needed some guitar strings. What am I talking about? Well, that leads us into the segment, who's in town? For the second time in 3 days, I got a call. Someone playing at the theater down the road needed something. And so today it was one of his crew. I don't know if the guy played in his band or not, but needed some guitar strings. And even though what I primarily do is live streams with you guys and teach one-on-one guitar lessons, here in my little music shop, I have a few things for sale. And this is one of the reasons why I do it. So, of course, I had some 10-gauge D'Addario guitar strings for Ronnie Earl, a fantastic blues player. And sure enough, 5 minutes later, a van pulls up into the parking lot of the pizza restaurant / music shop. And like, yeah, there's only one reason for a big old van to be pulling up. I thought, yeah, that's got to be the guys. And they came in, we talked for a minute. They got the guitar strings. That was cool. So Ronnie Earl is playing some blues right down the road in about an hour or so. Who else is coming through town? The California Guitar Trio. They're playing tomorrow night, and they're joined by Khaki King. Any Khaki King fans out there? K-A-K-I, King, common spelling. They are sharing the bill tomorrow. I'm going to post links to videos by everyone I'm mentioning here in the description of this video. I'll post a link to a Ronnie Earl blues video, a link to the California Guitar Trio, a link to Khaki King. Who else is in town? Carla Bonoff. Carla Bonoff, on her resume, she has had songs recorded by Bonnie Raitt, Linda Ronstadt, Do you need any more? Aaron Neville, want one more? Winona Judd. That's a pretty cool track record. If those folks have recorded some of your songs. So Carla Bonoff is in town. I'll post a link to her playing live in the description. And a band that I'm not familiar with, but I watched the video that I'm going to share with you guys, and they're very cool. Nefesh Mountain, N as in Nancy, E, F as in Frank, ESH Mountain, Nefesh Mountain. They're coming through over the next few days, and it's a cool video, cool sounding band, and I think you're going to kick out of it. So that's who's coming through town, and links to a bunch of their videos will be in the description of this live stream shortly after we wrap up. Chris says, did they get pizza or just guitar strings? Yeah, they had to hustle back. They had to grab the strings and hustle back. The good news is the venue here in this town, they release, to my knowledge, they serve a feast for the performers coming through. So they're not going to go hungry by any means. Having said that, who doesn't want good local pizza, man? So if I always check whenever I meet some of these people coming through town, I say, hey, you all set for dinner? Because there's, maybe I'm easy to please, but there's a lot of good, relatively affordable restaurants, and definitely affordable restaurants within a mile or two. You're not going to go hungry in this town. Bring your debit card and you do just fine. Six String Greg says, I've been seeing some great live music here while visiting the Gulf Coast. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, COVID is over, knock on wood, and it's summer. So, I mean, bands are out and about, right? Now's a great time. Joseph is saying, did anyone see Rick Beato's interview with Brad Paisley? He has an awesome guitar collection and builds his own guitars. Interesting. I knew that Brad Paisley had a big collection. I believe when Nashville had that terrible flood, I don't know how many years ago that was, a few years ago, that Brad Paisley was one of many people who lost a bunch of instruments that were stored in essentially a warehouse kind of situation. And I believe Brad Paisley lost a lot of instruments. He wasn't the only one, but yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah, it's tough. That's tough. But I didn't know he built his own guitars, especially if he's doing it from scratch. Very interesting. Chaz says he's going to see Nile Rodgers next week. Very cool. Yeah. A long time ago, I couldn't tell you which live stream, but there was a point when one live stream where I shared, I think, knock on wood, I shared a video clip of Nile Rodgers teaching a certain guitar riff. And, you know, I love watching anybody teach the guitar for a million reasons. And I especially love when it's someone who's not known as a teacher. I love seeing how they explain stuff. Sometimes they explain it totally different than I would. Sometimes they explain exactly how I would. Sometimes it's in between. But the nature of my job, I didn't go to guitar teacher school. I don't, for better or for worse, I don't hang out with a bunch of guitar teachers. So I've been winging it for 33 years. You know, and I figure, well, you know, it's paying the bills, so I must be doing something right, right? So that's why over the past couple of decades, as YouTube has exploded, right, it's so fun for me to see how other people teach, and it definitely has an effect on me. There are times I think, ooh, I like how that person said that, and there are times when I think, oh, geez, I'm not going to name names. Famous guitar player who we see his name everywhere. He did a backstage thing where he was teaching a thing backstage, and what a waste of time, man. I wish I could have that 4 minutes back. I kept watching it because I thought, okay, at any minute now, he's gonna speak in complete sentences and talk about the exact things he's doing. And oh man, what a waste of time. But you know what? Hey, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. It's fun for me to watch people. My point is, I really like Nile Rodgers because Nile Rodgers he was a good teacher. And so Chaz, you just made me think of that when you mentioned that you're going to go see Nile Rodgers this weekend. Barry says, have you ever played much music in 12/8 time, like a lot of Irish folk music? Yeah, definitely. Yep, yep. 12/8 time. If you don't know what that means, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. All that music that has the feeling of rum ba da bum 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 rum ba da bum 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 rum ba da bum bum bum. A lot of folky tunes of that feeling. A concrete example from the Ukraine. I just learned that this song is from the Ukraine. Carol of the Bells, that Christmas song. Yum ba da bum bum 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 bum. I found out recently that song was written by a Ukrainian composer. Okay, so that's the feeling of a song. Really, any song that has a number over 8. Could be 6/8, could be 9/8, but in general, it has a feeling of yum ba da bum 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 bum. I often describe it as a pirate song. That feeling of yo ho ho rum ba da bum. I am a pirate and I sail the seas. Rum ba da bum 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 bum. Because for sure, it's a feeling, it's a time signature, it's a feel that was definitely plenty popular way back when, and you don't hear it too much nowadays, which is too bad. There's that song. Anyone remember? I feel so funny saying this. There's a very cool pop band called Fun, F-U-N, with a period at the end, Fun, right? They had a song called Carry On. I should put a link to it in the description of this video. Why do I bring that up? It's in 12/8. Well, it certainly has that feeling of da 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 carry on da 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 da. So you can imagine this guy. For the record, Your Honor, I'm pointing 2 thumbs at myself, because that feeling is not the most popular feeling in pop music. When I hear a song, I think, the next time I'm talking about 6/8 or 12/8 or something, I'm going to use that song by Fun as an example that my younger students have probably heard. And I've done that many, many times. I cue up that song and say, here, there's an example of, I know it's kind of an old song at this point. It's new for me. By comparison to most of the songs that I referenced, that's a pretty new song. So I was very pumped up when I heard that song getting lots of airplay. Okay. All right. How are we doing on our poll? Have you voted? Let's check into the poll results real quick here. The poll statement, not really a question. My excuse for not practicing more is ... family or job priorities. So far, 24%. 21% have said your other hobbies get in the way. They cut into your guitar playing. I forget, can you guys see these poll numbers, or am I the only one who sees them? Let me know. I've been meaning to ask you guys if you can see the poll results in real time the way I can. 10% of you are a little bit shy, and the fact that you don't want people to hear you practice is your excuse for not practicing more. I get that. I get that. I wish I could wave a magic wand and both change. I wish I could give you more privacy and also tell you, don't worry about them. Don't worry. And a whopping 43% of you voted other. So definitely, with that many of you, the plurality, with that many of you, definitely let us know in the chat your #1 excuse for not practicing more. And again, this is all anonymous. I do not see who voted how, so don't worry about that. Barry says you can see the poll numbers. Okay, cool. I don't know. I was curious about that. Oh, I see. 6-string Greg, like Joseph said. Right, Joseph, you were the one who said you play every day, and so 6-string Greg says I play every day. I couldn't vote in the poll. I love that. I love that. And who did I see? Who just said you're hanging out? 6-string Greg, you're hanging out at the beach, and that's affected your practice time a little bit. Yeah. Well, I'm jealous, but you know what? That's a beautiful thing. Okay, I'm just looking at what you all are chatting about in the chat. Okay, Chaz, thank you for your super chat donation. A super chat is how you can support what we do here. It goes to paying for printer ink because I print out stuff. I know recently I have not been writing with a big black Sharpie, although you know what? Anything's possible. I went to the dollar store, got a variety of big black Sharpies using. I got my white paper there. Okay, moving on. Oh, Watcher Dan says, just too lazy to practice every day. Hey, you know what? You're being honest. It's, you know what? It's just reality, you know? And what I've always sincerely believed is the guitar is just waiting for you. It's a beautiful thing, you know? When the time is right, it's right there. It's not going anywhere. Just grab it, you know? It's waiting for you. Watcher Dan says, thank you for these live chats. Watcher Dan, you are very, very welcome. Okay, so hey, how about that 425-year-old guitar? Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna pull this up on Instagram, and knock on wood, I can share this with you guys. For sure, this link will be in the chat. There we go. Okay, now I forget if I've shared. I'm going to get the volume going here. You guys. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear this. I'm actually going to turn off the volume because I don't want it to get all wonky. Knock on wood, you guys can see this. There and there. Okay. And this, I hope that this Instagram post is now appearing in front of you. There we go. And again, I will share a link to this. A 425-year-old guitar. It's amazing that it still exists. I also want to talk about this awesome museum. This is the #1 reason I want to go to, I believe it's in Phoenix, a musical instrument museum. Oh my God. Okay, but I digress. The instrument that you're seeing on your screen, and can you guys see this okay? I hope you are. The video that you're looking at here on Instagram is an instrument that, what I learned, the frets are not metal frets that are banged into the neck of your guitar and secured there with glue. The frets are actually, I believe he said, animal gut that is like tied around the neck of the guitar with a good tight knot. And for that reason, they're movable. Oh, he's doing it right now. Can you see that? He's showing you how you can actually move the frets. Now, why would you want to move the frets? To get different notes. As you might know, our guitars, our conventional guitars, the frets are spaced in a way that we can get the 12 notes of the Western musical world, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and the 5 notes that have the sharp flat names. Well, if you could shift the frets around, anything is possible, right? So anyways, that guitar that he's showing there, the frets are tied on. So that alone is just mind-blowing, you know? Okay, so there you go. I will share a link to that. I believe the official description is it's the oldest guitar in existence, you know? 5 pairs of strings. So not 6 individual strings, 10 strings total, but they're in 5 groups of 2. And I'm assuming from experience and looking at it, when I say a pair of strings, they're so close to each other that you can't help but to squeeze 2 at the same time, right? Like a mandolin or a 12-string guitar. How cool is that? Now you can say that you have seen a 425-year-old guitar. All right. Hey, I've been yakking and yakking. Let's do our song of the week play along. Check. Okay, I'm checking this out. Get a capo handy, my friends. With your capo, put your capo behind the 5th fret, 5, behind the 5th fret. Check. I'm just checking off a couple of things here. Okay. Our play along song of the week. We're doing this a little later than usual. I didn't mean to do this a little bit later. From the pen of Willie Dixon, but the playing of Muddy Waters. What am I talking about? Hang on. All shall be revealed. All right, and I'm going to make it smaller and I'm going to share it with you right now. And again, this is available on my website. What I mean by that is the PDF that you'll see in 1 second right there is that exact document is available at my website. Okay, bear with me. I'm going to put a capo behind the 5th fret, just like I recommended to you. Okay, let's play, man. At a minimum, you are about to play a very cool blues riff. And if you get nothing else out of the next few minutes here, you got that riff right there. So I'm going to walk you through this, but a couple of disclaimers. Okay, this transcription from Muddy Waters playing is a specific version of the song. And can I throw this up here? I think I can. Okay. What I'm doing now is my way of of making sure that the blues police don't come a knocking. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing this for 1 second. Okay. Don't go anywhere. Stop sharing that one. And instead, I'm going to share this one. Okay. Give it a minute. On your screen in 1 minute will appear the specific Chess Records box set that this specific version of I'm Your Hoochie Coochie Man comes from. See that beautiful shot of Muddy Waters? Looks like he's playing a sweet Les Paul right there. Okay, this version you're about to play comes from that box set. It's available on Spotify and maybe other places too. It is possible. Okay, everybody see that? Okay, it is possible that you will pull up a version of this song that is not similar to what we're about to do. So that's why I'm bringing it to your attention. Okay, so the heart of the song is that riff at the very beginning. So capo at the 5th fret. I highly recommend putting your middle finger on the very first note, that 3 on the 6th string. We have a hammer-on the, hold on here. There we go. We have a hammer-on the 5th string from 0 to 2. Quick reminder, what does it mean to hammer on? You pluck the string 1 time, and the second note is achieved by your left-hand finger. In this case, the index finger is what I recommend. Okay, so we got the middle finger is playing the 3rd fret note as needed. Your index is going to hammer down on the 2nd fret note as needed. The phrase comes to a rest on a very cool power chord 022. Highly recommend squeezing the 2s with your index finger. You're going to strum the 3 fat strings and then stop the sound with the squishy side of your picking hand. 2, 3. Now you're going to repeat that a lot. Because that's how Willie Dixon wrote it. One of the absolute legendary American songwriters, Willie Dixon, and this is only one of his classic songs. Okay, I'm not going to tell you how many times to repeat that. Frankly, I never counted. You're going to repeat it a lot of times. So how do you know when it's time to go on to the next thing? You're going to listen to the words. When Muddy Waters says, gonna make pretty women jump and shout, the world wanna know. Pause right there. That's your cue. The world wanna know. Okay, you're gonna play the riff one more time. The world wanna know. And then that lyric is your cue to change to the what's at the end of line 1. What it's all about. You know I'm here. Okay, so I can't emphasize how incredibly important this is to not worry about how many times you're going to go and instead listen to the singer. It's Muddy Waters. He'll tell you when it's time to change, right? And by using the recording as your guide, you're set. The recording is never going to change, you know. Gonna make pretty women jump and shout. The world wanna know what it's all about. You know I'm here. Okay, that's when it changes to that very simple shuffle. The 0 and the 2 at the end of line 1, 8 times. Da, 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 da. Some people describe that rhythm as long, short, long, short. See why I call it long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short. Okay, the second line is my favorite part of the song. Now is a good time to tell you that I did not transcribe this. I was 100% reliant on a fantastic book from the Hal Leonard Publishing Company called Muddy Waters, Deep Blues. And I am assuming, even though they didn't give him explicit credit, the fantastic guitar teacher and historian Dave Rubin, he wrote the big introduction. So I assume these are his transcriptions, but they don't give him direct credit, so I don't know. He wrote the introduction. I don't know. Anyways, so what we're playing here is directly from that book. There's more than one instrument happening at the same time on this recording. So I'm going to show you what happens on line 2, and you can hear it in the recording, but you hear other stuff too. Out of context, this is going to sound a little raw. Here's line 2. Hold on a second. I can see my version better. I can see my screen. Line 2 goes. That's raunchy, right? In the context of the song, it fits great. But I fully expect you to right now kind of be picking at your ear, be like, "Ooh, that was a little," Don't worry. In the context of the song, it works just fine. Hey, Randy, thank you for your super chat donation for the Sharpie Fund. I do appreciate that. So now the good news is line 2 is easy, right? Your 2 treble strings, the second and third strings, 0s and 2s. And trust me, just take your index finger and grab both of those 2s of the index finger. Still that rhythm of long, short, long, short. Okay, that takes up a lot of space. Da, 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 da. End of line 2. I'm going to do that slower. This is the last measure of line 2, the one 0 followed by a lot of 2s. So I do it again. Pancake, 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 blueberry. Trust me, that's the best way to get the rhythm in your head for that measure at the end of line 2. Pancake, 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 blueberry. Of course, it doesn't end. That flows right into line 4, line 3, line 3. 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. Now, this will make sense when you hear me do it. Knock on wood, it'll make sense. Before we play it together, I'm going to walk through this nice and slowly. But for the record, here's line 3 again. Here I go. 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. Ooh, the last line. We got a great turnaround. I'll just play it for a second. The bottom line. 3, 4. And then we're back into the groove. Boy, it's kind of dark in here. Hold on, you guys. Bear with me. Let there be light. Okay. Hold on. It's about to get bright all up in here. That's a little bit better, right? A little bit. Okay. Last line without me talking so much. 2, 3, 4. essentially to the top of the page. I included the lyrics, and you can see the last lyric towards the bottom of the page. I got a black cat bone, and then I just wrote continue verse as above, because we're back into the la 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 la. We're back into that. Okay. I want to talk about the first measure of the bottom line. Let's talk about the left hand. It's an E7 chord. Easy peasy. That 1, 2, just grab an E7 chord. Okay? Index finger, first fret on the 3rd string. That means the 3rd skinny string. Middle finger, 2nd fret on the 5th string, also known as the A string. It's an E7. It's the easiest possible E7 chord. What happens next? You shift up 1 fret for the 2, 3. You shift up another fret for the 3, 4. Easy peasy. Beginning, the first measure of line 4 goes slow motion. Picking hand, you're going to do hybrid picking. You're going to pluck the 5th string with a downward motion at the same time that your middle finger is plucking up on the 3rd skinny string. Okay, so my middle finger, I know I'm a little thumbnail towards the bottom of your screen. My middle finger is going to be committed to the 3rd skinny string. My pick is committed to the 5th string, and you're going to do essentially a pinch. And you're going to even continue that hybrid picking for the 0, 0. So, okay, so I'm going to stop talking so much. I'm going to play through the song slowly. This does not count as our official play along, but I want to give you guys a chance to see and hear the whole thing before we do it for real. We'll just like, one time through the page, and we'll take it extra slowly. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Gypsy woman told my mother, 'fore I was born, a boy child coming, gonna be a son of a gun, gonna make pretty women jump and shout, then the world wanna know what it's all about. You know I'm here. Everybody knows I'm here. Well, you know I'm the hoochie coochie man. Everybody knows I'm here. Got a black cat bone. And then we're back up to the top of the page again. Okay? What do you think? Doable, right? As always, I want to remind you that the goal at this moment is not how perfectly you can play it right now. It's to whet your appetite, to give you a little, the feeling like, wait a minute, I can do this. This is not that hard. Everything on the page, by the way, is true to the transcription from this book. It's not the only music. I don't think it's even the only guitar that you're hearing in the song, but I didn't exactly simplify things. I simplified things a tiny bit. Just know that you can and should play this along with a real song and feel like you're doing it and it's valid and it's real, and that's pretty darn close to the exact guitar part in the song. I'm making a big deal about it because I don't want the blues police coming for me and saying, you simplified it a little bit. I definitely simplified it a little bit, but not to the point where it's not true to what's going on in the song, Okay, you ready? I'm going to wet my whistle. I'll spare you that. Okay, let's do this. I'll see you on the other side. 1, 2, 3. Gypsy woman told my mother, 4 hours born, got a boy child coming, gonna be a son of a gun, gonna make pretty women jump and shout, and the world wanna know what it's all about, but you know I'm here. Everybody knows I'm here. You know I'm the hoochie coochie man. Everybody knows I'm here. Got a back cap bone and a mojo too. Got Jorma Kaukonen, gonna mess with you. Gonna make the girl lead me by my hand, and the world gonna know I'm the hoochie coochie man. You know I'm here. Everybody knows I'm here. You know I'm the hoochie coochie man. Everybody knows I'm here. On the 7th hour, on the 7th day, on the 7th month, 7 doctors say he was born for good luck. That you'll see. I got $700. Don't you mess with me, you know I'm here. Everybody knows I'm here. You know I'm the hoochie coochie man. Everybody knows I'm here. We're in the key of E, a nice E7 chord at the end. Why not? By the way, if you were in the mood to play some blues soloing on top of this, you could do it with the capo and play E blues scales. And the, you know, if you want to take the capo off and play without the capo, musically, the song is in the key of A. So you'd be playing without a capo, A blues scales. Okay. All right. How'd you do? What'd you think? Jamie says, cool song. A to Z Me says, are you really a hoochie coochie man? I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I'll tell you as soon as I know, you'll be the next to know. So yeah, thoughts, pretty easy riff, right? That when I say riff, I'm just talking about that first. I mean, you got to play it with some confidence, but man, I mean, anybody can do that. Give yourself 1 minute of practice. You can do that. I taught this to a student recently, and it helped him to think the following: a blueberry pie, a blueberry pie, 2, 3, a blueberry pie. Okay, just to make sure he had the rhythm right. So that's my gift from me to you, a blueberry pie. Those of you who have watched a few of these live streams, you know that I'm big on saying something that, knock on wood, will practically guarantee you can't get the rhythm wrong. A blueberry pie, right? And so I found that to be pretty effective in specifically the rhythm of that riff. Okay, the the last thing I want to say, because remember, how could you forget that I'm always hoping that you guys ultimately graduate and play along with the actual recording, right? There's multiple instruments here, some great harmonica playing, and you got to listen closely sometimes to hear this exact guitar part. So don't be surprised if you're nailing the PDF, you're playing it great, but you listen to it and there's that little disconnect where you're like, well, you know, so that falls in the category of leap of faith. Even if you don't hear exactly what you're expecting to hear, you got to take that little leap of faith that, you know, hopefully I wouldn't steer you wrong. Hopefully the people or individual who put together this book wouldn't steer us wrong. But yeah, it's worth acknowledging that that's part of the world that we're in. We're playing an instrument that's very often found in an ensemble with lots of other instruments, including potentially even other guitars. And you have to take that leap of faith that, yeah, I'm pretty sure this fits with the song. I'm pretty sure I got it, but you got to listen closer and closer and closer sometimes to hear the exact guitar part. Other times it's totally obvious and how can you go wrong? But sometimes your guitar part that you're working on can be layered into the mix, you know, and just keep listening. And that's a huge part of our progress, yours, mine, all of us as musical people. We get better ears, you know. Okay. I'm looking at your stuff in the chat here. You guys are talking about Brad Paisley. Okay. DAC Poet is talking about, look at all those songs. Yeah. Echo Sauce. I know that's not how you pronounce that song, but I always, when I see that, I call it Echo Sauce. Excellent. Wow. Okay, so DAC Poet, I'm officially declaring that you are more of an expert on classical repertoire than I am, and for that reason, I'm gonna, you know, I'm excited about the songs that you mentioned because I don't think I know them except I remember that title, Echo Sauce. Okay. Hey, Watcher Dan says that he visited a cool guitar store in North Carolina called Casino Guitars. Yeah, I've heard good things about Casino Guitars. Yeah. Yeah, CW is making a good point. CW says, watching too many YouTube videos of how to get great at the guitar. Good intentions, but it doesn't happen. Yeah, I hear you. That's good. We're talking about excuses for not practicing as much as you intend to, as much as you want to. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Well, there's so much material out there and it's inspiring, right? You got to walk that line between seeing someone do something on YouTube or live in concert, whatever, and being totally inspired and glad that you watched it, right? And going back home and doing it yourself, or grabbing your guitar and doing it yourself. It's fun to get inspired. It's fun to see people do awesome things that are maybe feel beyond your reach, and also things that you think, wait a minute, I'm your hoochie coochie man. Wait a minute, that was a pretty simple riff. I think I could do that. It can be fun and motivating and inspiring either way. For the record, yes, I have definitely seen people do things on YouTube and felt not only am I doubtful I could do that exact thing, but I'm not even sure what I just saw. Does that sound familiar at all? Possibly, yeah. Hey, let's get to a couple of our regular segments here. Very quickly, there we go. My own dumb question of the week. I ask it so you don't have to. Do you have to play an F chord? Do you have to get good at F? That's a dumb question. You know, you have to. So just to play devil's advocate, no, you don't have to get it. Forget F. Don't even worry about it. You don't need F. You don't take a D chord, D as in delta, and move it up 3 frets. There's your F chord. Here's D. Here's F. You're all set. There it is from me to you. There's an F chord. You don't have to play F. Nah, forget about F. You don't need it. Is that how I really feel deep down? I don't know. It's a dumb question. Of course you need an F chord. Can you have a lot of fun and play a lot of amazing music and never play an F chord? Definitely. What if you're a lead guitar player, man, and that's your dream, playing awesome lead guitar up and down the neck, soloing? That has nothing to do directly with how good you are at the F chord, right? Sure, you don't need an F chord. I'll say this though, and I mean this sincerely. Let's say you give up on F temporarily, but you're playing every day. You're doing all this other stuff, everything but an F chord, right? Your fretting hand is going to get so good that F is not going to be hard. When you finally get back to it a month later, a year later, whatever time is, if you're playing enough, especially you're playing a big variety of stuff, not just other chords, you're playing, bluesy stuff, you're practicing scales, you're practicing arpeggios, you're doing all this amazing stuff. Yeah, you're going to, it's a moot point because when you get what I'm saying, right? Yeah. That's a dumb question. That's this week's dumb question of the week. Do you have to get good at F? You don't have to anything. We're doing this for fun, right? Now, I feel obligated to say being able to play F opens up so many possibilities. For heaven's sake, please practice your F chords. A to Z me confirms F and C love each other. So it's important to play F. Yeah, definitely. You don't want to, put it this way, you don't want to give up on F. You can, set it aside for a minute and do a lot of other stuff and then come back to it. But yeah, I'm going to stop sharing. I think we're past that. The PDF of I'm Your Hoochie Coochie Man is available right now for members of my website, www.song-bike.com. Okay, check. Tough love. Let's do a quick little tough love segment. You got to get good at reading tab. You got to, and here's a little motivation. Bada boom, got that. And I can make it bigger. I'm going to make this super big. If you're squinting at the screen, or if you've been squinting at the screen, get ready to take a step back because this is going to be big AF. Okay, there you go. A little motivation right there to get good at reading tab. What a beautiful song, classic melody. Here we go. Easy peasy. You can play that. Scarborough Faire. You can play that, right? Okay, so why did I put this up on the screen? Simply to motivate any of you who are a little shaky on reading tab. DAC Poet says, love this song. Hey, Debbie. Debbie has joined the chat. Hey, Debbie. Quick reminder. Tab is 6 horizontal lines. Each line literally represents one of your guitar strings. 6 strings, 6 lines. The top line, the one closest to the top of your computer screen, the top line represents your skinny E string. Yes, I know that's counterintuitive. When you look at your guitar, the fat string is the top of the 6. Don't yell at me. That's just how it is. You have to do a flip in your head, okay? I'll say it again. The top line is your skinny string. The bottom line, which you don't actually need for this song. In fact, you don't need the bottom 3 lines for this song. The bottom lines are your fat strings, okay? Some of you know this already. Some of you are dealing with it okay. And some of you are freaked out and you want to fight about it. You want to say, but. There's always a big but. That's what Pee Wee Herman says. There's always a big but. It is what it is. Beginning guitar lessons, our moderator, thank you for being here, Beginning Guitar Lessons. He's pointing out one of the logical reasons why it is the way it is. This makes sure that the highest sound that the listener hears is the highest line string, and the lowest sound is represented by the lower line, right? Which actually is the same as, let's call it real music, regular music, which you see up above. The higher sounds are higher and the lower sounds. Hey, Celeste is in the chat. Hi, Celeste. So take a good look at this, right? Quick reminder, tab does not tell you which fingers to use on your fretting hand. Use whatever fingers you want. Between you and me, I would use your number one finger, your pointer finger, anytime there's a number one on the screen. Your middle finger, number two, also known as swear finger for all the twos, ring finger for all the threes, and why not use your pinky for the fives? There you go. So every one of your 4 fretting fingers, index through pinky, each has a job on this. If you play it and it sounds like Scarborough Faire, you are officially reading tab. If it doesn't sound like Scarborough Faire, something's going wrong. Why did I choose this song? Just because it's so pretty. That's all. And it's not as easy as I could have, as some of the songs I could have chosen, because it uses 3 different strings, and you got to stay on top of it. It actually begins on the 3rd skinny string, the G string, but it hops over to the skinny E string, then to the B, then back to the G. So a lot of hopping around. Number 1, you can do it. Number 2, this song sounds good at a slow speed. It doesn't have to go fast, right? So there you go. Have I made this? Did I put this one on my website yet? If I didn't, I sure will. My computer is making me log into my own website. You know, no, I haven't put it in the PDF section of my website, but I definitely will. I won't do it right now on your time, but I definitely will. Okay, so there you go. Little tough love. Got to learn how to read tab, and there's as good a reason as any, as good a motivation as any. Okay, thank you. So, but I will, ultimately, I will put that exact PDF on my website. Oh, it came from my ebook called The Guitar. Where here, The Guitar, Week 1. Okay. At the back of this book and the back of The Guitar Month 1 are a whole lot of melodies just like this. In fact, the Scarborough Faire one, right below it is Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, just a bunch of famous, popular melodies. What a great way to learn how to read tab. This ebook, The Guitar Week 1, has about 23 songs, everything from Happy Birthday, When the Saints Go Marching In, and the Guitar Month 1 has another 20 or 23 or something like that. Available for immediate download at my website, www.song-bike.com. Hey, I've begun preparations for next week's live stream. For those of you who are sticking around, some of you have been here for maybe all 2 hours of a live stream. I'm going to be giving away stuff. Tune in next Saturday night. You can get free stuff. Some of it is a prize, like, ooh, you get free stuff that's guitar related. Some of it is personal to me. That's all I'm going to say. It's a little more personal and kind of reflects where I live and who I am and what made me, what keeps me going, what makes me what I am today. So I'm going to be giving away free stuff. So do tune in next Saturday for our 100th. Woohoo! Thank you for being here, you guys. I wouldn't have done 10 of these if it weren't for you guys. So, hey, Aki, my concern is that I think I'm going to be limited to shipping free stuff to the continental US. And I love you guys who are watching from overseas. I just don't think I can afford to pick up the shipping for stuff overseas. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, because I love having people from outside the US joining us here. So I'm never saying never, but at the moment, that's the financial decision I have to make. I'm still giving away free stuff, but it's going to be shipped within the continental US, not outside the US. Hey, Randy, I'm seeing your comment about La Lam. Yeah, Randy and I and many people are huge fans of the Los Angeles League of Musicians, La Lam for short, LALOM. Just super cool guitar instrumentals. And Randy's pointing out they actually have a tap dancer acting as a percussionist in the video of one of their songs called L'Aventure. Yeah, highly recommend La Lam, Los Angeles League of Musicians. Great name for a relatively small band. but it's a great name. Hey, YouTube put a thing out. Some of you might use YouTube Music and as like a way that you hear your music. Well, they put a thing out. Let me see if I can find it quickly. A press release, so to speak. Okay, here it is. Bear with me, you guys. Some of you might get a kick out of this. I guess I have mixed feelings about it because there's always a catch, man. There's always a catch. Okay, I'm pulling up an email here. And for those of you who have YouTube Music or who are thinking about it, here's an email they sent me. It's going to appear on your screen in a moment. Okay, there you go. You hum a song, and it tells you what the song is. So the headline here is, YouTube Music lets you find songs by humming, singing, or playing a tune. After about a year of testing, they've rolled out a new feature. You know, that feeling you think, oh, what song is this? You know, Saturday in the park. What's that song? Who sings that song? Well, YouTube Music is at least trying with AI to make it easier for you to identify the stuff. Believe me, I'm not doing this to endorse it or to tell you you should subscribe to YouTube Music. It's more just as a curiosity. They have 100, they claim to have a catalog of 100 million songs. And hey, thanks to AI, it's possible. What do you think? Is this a good thing? I mean, I don't know, man. There's always a catch. There's always a catch. I hate to sound so cynical. There you go. But now you know what I know. I mean, it seems like a good thing, right? That song that you know, what is that? You know? I guess you'll find out how good a singer you are if it doesn't recognize the song. You're like, come on, yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. And the response is, nah, I got nothing. Come on, man. I don't know. We'll see. Aki knows that the song that I just sang so beautifully was from the band Chicago. DAC Poet says, Scarborough Faire was one of the first songs I played in 8th grade at the guitar club in middle school. Your middle school had a guitar club? How cool is that? There's a local high school in the town, a couple of towns over, where I think I've told you guys, they have essentially a rock band class for credit. I mean, you get graded, you get credit for it. One of my current high school students is playing guitar in the band, and it sounds awesome. I mean, number one, the guy running it sounds like he knows what he's doing for sure, which it all starts with leadership up at the top, right? It's a mix of kids, mostly guitar players, but they have bass, drums, and a singer, and a bunch of guitar players. They have chances to play. So it's not just, you know, in a little room just banging out the songs. They actually get to perform them. Very cool. Very cool. All right, you guys. I have one or two more things that you're going to get a kick out of. And bear with me because I'm checking off. Okay. I see lots of check marks. Check. Did that. Okay. So, two lessons you never forget. This is, Rock Lobster. This is even more important than a lesson you never forget. Rock Lobster, we did make reservations for a place in Algonquin, Maine. I think the end of July. I'll get back to you on the exact date. So basically the end of July. We're heading to our annual trip to Algonquin, Maine, which means for sure I'm going to head up to Portland to go to the cool music store called Buck Dancer's Choice. For sure I want to go to Buck Dancer's Choice. They had such a sweet heritage Les Paul, but made by the Heritage Guitar Company, that I still can't afford. But I kind of hope it's still there, so at least I can play it for a little bit. I'm not even a Les Paul guy, and I like that guitar a lot, from the Heritage Guitar Company over there in Michigan. I don't know what other shops I might go to, but you know, Buck Dancer's Choice, you know what that is. So yeah, end of July. Put down the money, put down the deposit. So it's happening. In fact, that's what we did Memorial Day. That was my big Memorial Day. My family sat for a moment, essentially breakfast time, morning time, and we, you know, thought about what place should we stay, this place, and we finally came up with a very cool place in Algonquin, New York. Okay, so don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm just muttering to myself here. I need that. What we're about to do goes back to those harmonics that we talked about a minute ago. But I thought you guys would get a kick out of this. When we are doing harmonics, I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of you thought, hey, wait a minute, those harmonics ring a bell, and you would be right, especially if your ear kind of picked up on, you make it a little bit louder. Harvest Moon by Neil Young, right? Harmonics at the 12th fret. For a moment, let's actually go down to the bottom of the page, and I'll teach you a lesson you'll never forget. The bottom of the page reflects those harmonics as I was just playing. 12th fret harmonics on the first 4 skinny strings, followed by the final harmonic 7 on the A string. What a cool little melody, right? Those of you who know Harvest Moon, you recognize that right away, right? Such a pretty thing. So in my mind, I live for this. You learn a technique, a skill, some concept, but then you apply it to a real song. Okay, so there you go. There's the, officially these are called natural harmonics. There are artificial harmonics. There are pinch harmonics. Someday we'll cover all that stuff, but why not start au natural? Here's my advice. If you want to play it as fast as the recording, do not use your index finger for the harmonics at 12. For instance, I recommend the ring finger instead. And here's why. Not only do you want your index finger to be ready to jump down to the 5th string, 7th fret, although you do. By the way, I'm doing all up picks towards my chin. Up, 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 right? Why not? You know, I'm just essentially dragging the pick up towards the ceiling. Once I start playing the 12s, I'm going to start looking directly at my final destination 7 on the 5th string. That's the only way you're going to get there in time. If you're looking at it, maybe even before you start, I know my ring finger's at 12. I planned it there. It's not going anywhere. Do not look at the 12th fret. You'll never get to the 7th fret in time. Okay. I've already made up my mind that's going to be my fretting hand index finger, my left index finger that's going to play that note. There's no doubt in my mind. My eye is staring right at it. It still takes practice, right? But that strategy of looking at your final destination or looking at the destination you want to get to, huge, huge. You want to do it 100 times, right? You're going to make mistakes, right? But you get my advice. Do not look at the 12th fret. Once you get your finger there, I mean, once you play you could do it with your pinky, by the way. I mean, you could do it with any finger, but definitely not your index, because you want your index finger to be ready for that hop. Okay, so now up at the top of the page, for the record, how could I forget? Tune your fat string down to D. And I'm going to do it with my cool little strobo stomp tuner. There we go. Okay, sounds pretty good to me. Now, even though the strobo stomp tuner by Peterson said I was perfectly in tune, I'm still going to do what I call a reality check. I mean, I'm going to compare the fat string, now tuned down to D, with my 4th string D. You know, just trust but verify. My only Ronald Reagan quote, trust but verify. I trust the tuner, but okay. learned this song wrong. I even taught this song wrong. And I admit it. What you are looking at on screen is 100% based on this specific book and this specific version. It's Neil Young's playing on his Unplugged album. I'm going to assume this is identical to his recording of the song, his studio recording of Harvest Moon. I didn't double check it. I don't know. I want to focus on you and playing this as written. And I use this book as my guide because it's the only Neil Young book I have that has this song in it. Why am I making such a big deal about this? What am I talking about? Here's why. See, at the end of line 1, there's a bunch of zeros. What? Okay. Why is that incredibly important to me? Because I was playing it wrong. I thought I was so smart. And according to this transcription of this version, I was too smart. I was too clever by half. I was setting myself up for success. I was playing that 10-11, 10 on the second string, 11 on the third string, with my middle and ring. When I needed the 12 on the second string, I was retaining those fingers, but adding my pinky on the second string, 12th fret. And when I needed the 9, I would let go of the pinky, and my 9 on the first string, my index finger is right there waiting for a job to do, and it works great. Not that long ago, I taught someone how to do it exactly like that. Sounds great. What's the problem? Well, there's only one reason in my mind why those 3 zeros appear at the end of line 1. It's because Neil Young himself was not fretting it that way. He was letting go of the guitar at that moment so he could regroup and reposition his hand for that 9, 10, 11 chord in line 2. I'm making a huge deal about this. Is it a huge deal? Probably not. But it would seem to me, based on this exact transcription, that Neil Young, I guess, is using his first 2 fingers on the 10 and 11, his index and middle, and then probably his ring finger on the 12. Lifting them off for that final 0, 0, 0. That's an upstroke, by the way. It's line 2. He's totally reconfiguring his left hand in that 9, 10, 11 position, which is fine. It's fine. It totally works. That 0, 0, 0 to me is like an incredibly important clue of how his left hand is moving. Did it sound fine the way I've been doing up until now? Yeah, it sounds totally fine. The number one difference sound-wise is when I play it, that last 0, 0, 0 at the end of line 1, it's not a 0, 0. It's 0, 12, 11, 0. Because I have no reason to lift my left hand off because I'm already where I want to be. Could I lift my hand off and put it back down again to accommodate that 0, 0, 0? Totally. Totally. I don't know. We're in a weird little world here, you know. It all comes down to how seriously you take the sound of that 0, 0, 0. It's not a particularly musical sound. It's not a bad sound, but it's not there to serve a musical purpose. I would propose that it's there because he wants to keep strumming even while his left hand is changing chords. Okay. But since it doesn't serve a musical purpose, personally, I feel okay about setting myself up for success right from the very beginning and doing it the way I told you first with the middle and ring. I know I'm making a huge deal about this. Some of you are like, oh my God, I get it. Or I don't get it. Whatever. My middle and ring are just planted there for all time. trying to take my own advice. I was staring at the 12th fret. Don't do it, Jonathan. Ah, so pretty, right? Someday we could do more of this tune. It's got a few wonky things in there, partly because of the drop D tuning. It's not that it's super duper hard. It's just today I'm prepared to share this part of the song with you guys. This is sort of the memorable part of the guitar. The stuff that I'm not sharing with you at the moment is a lot of it is the strumming during the vocals, you know, whereas this part is the signature riff of the tune. A to Z Me says gorgeous melody. DAC Poet acknowledges that drop D tuning. Yeah. Okay. That PDF is also available at my website. Okay, you guys, I've been keeping you for a long time. One last thing. I'll make this one short. You're like, whoo, this is an epic live stream. Whoa. Could be one of the longest live streams in recent history. What I'm about to share with you, let me see. This is our third installment in that thing that I call Guitar for Songwriters. And oh, I know where I put it. I made it so easy. It's hiding in plain sight. Okay, I think I can just share this to you like this. Okay. For those of you who are songwriters, or you want to, you know, walk in the footsteps of songwriters for a minute, check this out. Can I make this bigger? That's big enough. Okay, that looks good. All right. Songwriter Guitar Part 3, Common Chord Progressions. Okay, see that on your screen right there? Okay. If you remember, a few live streams ago, Songwriter Guitar Part 1, I believe we talked about the creative possibilities of taking your most common, most favorite, the most popular chords, and while you're strumming them, lifting off a finger, putting it back down, or adding a finger that maybe wasn't doing anything anyways, like the pinky. So you're modifying chords. And there's so many opportunities for you to be creative and modify your basic C and D and A minor and all that kind of stuff. Second Songwriter Guitar live stream, we talked about different strum patterns. We scratched the surface. There's plenty more, but we scratched the surface. Here we are at number 3, Common Chord Progressions. By my count, we have, I'm gonna say that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chord progressions. Several of them I present in more than one key. So for instance, at the top of the page, G, C, D, and possibly D7 as well. Common chord progression, not particularly hard. What you see below it, in effect, it's the same chord progression in 3 other keys. The same chord progression in the key of A, in the key of C, in the key of D. Those of you who have played guitar for a little while and learned a variety of songs, some of those groupings like D, G, A, maybe with an A7, you're already thinking, oh, I know a song that uses that. Yeah. So when you go to write a song, though, that's in my mind, that's the same chord progression in 4 different keys. So pick whichever one works for you, and begin writing a song. The chords do not have to be in that order. For sure, they don't have to be in that order. It's not bad to put them in that order, but don't feel obligated to. Okay, in my mind, the second chord progression down is the E minor D C, possibly with another D chord. That's got that, in my mind, that's got that all on the Watchtower kind of vibe. But I wouldn't have picked it out for this particular lesson plan here if it wasn't a chord progression that showed up in a million other songs. I mean, you can't get away from that chord progression. The A minor version, A minor GF. Now, I'm giving it a certain strum. You can strum it however you want because it's your song, right? This is to inspire your creative juices. You can, I like that order, you know. I'm going back to the E minor D C. But how much time you spend on each chord, totally up to you. I put the D in parentheses because it's very common to go E minor, D, C, back to D again. You don't have to, but that's a common thing. And same thing with a G that's in parentheses. Okay, the next chord progression, I'm going to call this the third chord progression, the G, D, E minor, C, or C, G, A minor, F, the Ed Sheeran special. Recently, I've just been doing a couple of Ed Sheeran songs with a variety of students. And, you know, Ed Sheeran is not the first person to write a song with G, D, E minor, and C, often in that exact order. And in some cases, people, including Ed Sheeran, to my knowledge, it's the entire song is those four chords in that order over and over again. But because he's a creative guy, he sings different melodies. So it's almost like it's disguising the fact that the background chords are the same chords in the same order. Very cool. He's a talented guy. He's not the first and won't be the last. You are going to be the next person to write a hit song, G, D, E minor, C. Again, does not have to be in that order, but that's a pretty cool order right there. Okay, moving down. The E minor, D, C, B7. To my mind, that's that classic. You might say, hey, wait a minute, we almost did that one up above where it says E, D, C, and then another D chord. Yeah. But something about that B7 at the end, or in the key of A minor, the E7 at the end, ooh, that's a game changer. To me, hearing that chord progression, it brings to mind, like, what I think of is like a flamenco kind of style chord progression. Okay, C major 7 to F major 7. I know that might seem like, well, that can't be a whole song. C major 7, a C with no index finger. Fret a C chord, and then just lift off the index finger. F major 7. It's an F chord where you do not squeeze the skinny string. Index finger, second string, first fret, middle finger, third string, second fret, ring finger, fourth string, third fret. I'm avoiding the two fat strings, but I am including the open E string right there. C major 7. Going to F major 7. J.J. Cale. Anybody know the J.J. Cale song, Magnolia? Whippoorwill singing. Soft summer breeze. Oh, I love this song so much. Made me think of my baby. I left down in New Orleans. We did that on a live stream. I'll tell you when. I think we did. Hope we did. Anyways, major 7 chords do not have to be difficult. Oh, we never did it. Oh, we're going to have to do that song, Magnolia by J.J. Cale. Okay. Bada boom, bada boom. Okay. Look at all those. Okay, stop sharing. All right, come back here. Where did our other one go? Our chord progressions. Come back here, chord progressions. Dang it. That's what I'm looking for. Not that one. This right there. Okay. And then boom. And then boom. Okay. So I want to leave you with the thought that major 7 chords have their own unique vibe. And in some cases, they're really easy. So write a song with major 7 chords. C major 7, F major 7. In both cases, it's actually less work than playing a proper C and a proper F, but you get more, you get a deeper harmony, for lack of a better way of putting it. Okay, last one, D. To D major 7, to D7, to G. Ooh, there's a powerful sound. I know you guys know how to play D. D major 7, check it out. Take your index finger, bar the 3 treble strings at the 2nd fret. You're going to strum 4 treble strings. Such a pretty sound. Followed by a D7. I call that the upside down D. Full of tension. That tension loves to be resolved by a G major chord. D major 7 to D dominant 7. If you want the whole name, finally back to G. Ah, love it. Okay. The key of D is the most convenient key to do this particular chord progression in. You take the 1 chord, the tonic chord, you play it as a major, then as a major 7, then as a dominant 7, and then to the 4 chord. The key of D is the easiest key to do that. Oh, okay, you guys. So that wraps up Songwriter Guitar Part 3. In my mind, you have, what I say, six different chord progressions, several of them in different keys, right? The first 4 are in different keys. That you could write 6 different songs based on those chord progressions. Admittedly, the C major 7, F major 7, you know, that you might not be able to base a whole song on that. Even J.J. Cale eventually goes to another chord. And that bottom one, the D to D major 7, D7 to G, that is a very cool chord progression. Personally, I'd want to add maybe the A chord in that mix. Just to round out the group of chords. But you get so much bang for your buck by doing that D to D major 7 to D7 and then finally to G. Oh, you get so much bang for your buck there. Hey, Beginner Guitar Lessons has a question. Beginner Guitar Lessons says, what's the rule for using a Mixolydian mode? Like, when do you know it's okay to use a Mixolydian mode? Happy blues songs. That's one example. But let me give you a better example. I'm going to think about this for a second. Number one, you could use the Mixolydian mode anytime and just see how it works. All the Mixolydian mode is, it's a major scale. It's a do, re, mi major scale with a flatted 7. I'm going to play it in the key of G because it's convenient. Hear that? For the record, I'm on the 3rd skinny string going 0, 2. The 2nd skinny string 0, 1, 3. And the 1st skinny string 0, 1, 3. It sounds almost like a do, re, mi major scale except for that second to last note, right? It's the flatted 7th note of the scale. Okay, so if a song is in the key of G, just a regular G major song, you could use the Mixolydian mode with the understanding that F note could sound very cool or could be like, ooh, a little weird. Part of me just wants to say, hey, try it and see what happens, see how you like it, you know? If you were to press me, say, in the key of G, when it would for sure sound good. If you went to play a G7 chord, say the song went from G to G7 and then to C, that could happen in the key of G. Well, during the G7 chord, you literally are grabbing that note we're talking about, that F note. If you're in a key where the flat 7 chord shows up, if you're in the key of G and all of a sudden an F major chord shows up, well, if the F7 chord shows up, then that gives you free rein to employ the G Mixolydian scale because it has the note F in it. So I don't know if I'm being 100% helpful, but the bottom line is it's going to be a slightly bluesy sounding note. I mean, the flat 7 note is a little bit bluesy sounding. So it's not going to work for everything. Nothing wrong with trial and error. I mean, you'll know, potentially you'll know right away if it sounds good or not. When I said that thing about happy blues, say you had a blues song, I'm going to give it kind of a peppy little strum. You know, want to call that style of blues playing. Got a taste of jazz in there a little bit. The G Mixolydian. That could fit nicely, you know. So I'm not sure if I'm helping you exactly, but those are my first thoughts off the top of my head. Aki says the bluesier, the better. Okay, you guys, thanks for letting me run a little bit late. I'm getting hungry. Next week, number 100, please tune in. Okay, you guys who are the troopers who are here, you know, been here for over 2 hours. I think you guys deserve some free stuff. So please do tune in. I'm going to apologize, not for the last time, that the giveaway stuff will be limited to people who live in the continental US. But until I come up with a better system than that, I got to start that way. So bear with me. My first time giving away stuff. I'm very excited. Okay, let me stop sharing here. We got the idea. All right. I'm just double checking all the stuff. Got it. Our final poll results. Okay, there we go. I'm going to end the poll. We say, let's see. My excuse for not practicing more is 41% voted for other. 33% understandably said family and job priorities, man. Gotta do the adult stuff, which is as it should be, right? 33% voted for family and job priorities. 18% said your other hobbies get in the way. 8% are just kind of like a little bit self-conscious. Believe me, I get that. And then 41% said other. And if you voted other, I hope you let me know in the chat what that was. I'm very curious. I definitely review the chat when I do the timestamping. I'll be timestamping this video tomorrow morning, as always, but I'm going to put a lot of stuff in the description of this video in the next 5-10 minutes, including a bunch of the links that we've talked about. So, all right, you guys, I'm excited about next Saturday. I hope you can make it. Follow me on Instagram or Facebook if you want, maybe a little preview of what's going to happen. Either way, Instagram or Facebook, just do a search for the term Songbike, SONGBIKE. You should be able to find me pretty easily. Give me a follow. I appreciate it. All right, you guys. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Do people say that anymore? We got a bunch of likes already here in the, there we go, in the live stream. Can't hurt to like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Thank you for those of you who made Super Chat donations. Music Fan, our moderator, is in the chat. Hey, Music Fan, thank you for being here too. Thanks to Beginner Guitar Lessons for also being a moderator. You guys have a great week. New month. I'll see you next month. I'll see you in 7 days. Have a great week. Hope you get to play the guitar a lot and stay safe. All right. Bye, everybody.